I'm Philip Nieuwoudt from Nieuwood Trees. We are in our nursery in South Devon, just a little village called Stoke Gabriel, just outside Totnes. I read this book, amazing book, called The Hidden Life of Trees. And it was all about how single species or genus will communicate with each other through their root system. But you have to stick to the same genus. You can't mix the genus up. So I decided to do an oak woodland so that the oaks could communicate. That was my whole idea, was just a bit of fun, thinking that all these oak trees are going to be talking to each other, so to speak. Yeah, see, I can't leave anything alone. So when I planted this, I planted the oaks in a big spiral. So I did foolishly. I think I've lost one up in the top corner, so my spiral isn't quite unique. But I always had this vision that in 100 years' time, when somebody flies a drone over it, they'll go, "Oh my God, those oaks are planted in a spiral. How did that happen?" So yeah. So I did think about how it's going to look. But now introducing other stuff, like the hazels and the field maple, I'm trying to move a bit away from my interference and making it look a bit more natural. But yeah, so I have thought about how it will look, but hopefully they will all grow up to be, really beautiful big trees at the end of the day. So. I had them growing in the nursery, as oak trees. I've always just liked the ideas, even though we specialise in multi-stem trees, ornamental stuff. I've always thought that every English nursery should have, English oaks in there. It just felt like it was the right thing to do. So I planted some in a field. So that's most probably about 7-8 years ago. That I planted them as as small feathered whips, so to speak, and then we created. When I decided to plant them here, I just dug those up and brought them here. So I think it'd been in situ maybe 3 or 4 years, but they were already in the nursery, from quite young. So, by creating this little woodland, what I didn't think about was, and that's even taken us a bit by surprise, is how by leaving everything unattended, no spray, obviously no chemical spray, nothing. We only cut it once at the end of winter, right before spring, we give the grass a cut. And I don't know if you can hear, but the insects, just in this tiny little space is just incredible. The different kind of grasses that's growing around here is just wonderful. So yeah, it's really opened my eyes to what a small space can do and what a difference it can make. And then in the back you'll most probably see some beehives. I'm not the beekeeper. I've got somebody from the village that keeps his bees here. I get paid a pot of honey every year for for having the bees. I grew up with the bee. My dad was a beekeeper, so I'm I've always been very keen on bees. But especially in the current climate with bees, disappearing, and it's so important. They're so important to the way that for everything, for our food, well, not just for our food, but for the whole ecosystem. So they're extremely important, and so I love the fact that the bees are here as well. On a hot sunny day, they can be quite aggressive, but yeah, we try and stay clear of them and let them be. So by just following this little thing of all about the trees talking to each other, we've actually created something completely amazing, with the whole biodiversity and everything that came with that. So yeah, so it's been a really great experiment to do.